After we saved Micah from his ultimate demise in Strawberry, we find him hiding just outside of town, knowing that he needs to get back in Dutch's good books before he returns to the gang. During the mission, an American pastoral scene, Arthur helps him out with a plan to intervene with a banking coach that the O'Driscolls had planned to hit. This mission is a timed one and it must be completed within 6 minutes and without taking any health items. We must also ensure we headshot each of the mounted guards that are protecting the wagon and get 10 kills in Deadeye. I've labelled this mission hard due to the unforgiving time limit the game forces upon us. As with the majority of my gold medal guides, I will be doing this during a regular playthrough. I always make sure I save the game prior to attempting a mission in case of mistakes. The advantages of doing so in a regular playthrough are that you can give Arthur full gold, health and Deadeye cores. However, doing this on a replay is still achievable because Rockstar are generous with the items you are provided, such as tonics. You also have one other advantage in a replay where you have access to guns you have unlocked, depending on which stage of the game you are replaying it from. Getting headshots and using Deadeye is vital to the success of this mission. If you need a reminder of how to manually tag targets, see my gold medal guide for Pouring Forth Oil Part 4, where I give full instructions, and also watch my guide on how to maintain your cores. Links to both these videos will be in the description. I want to first address a couple of points about the timing of this mission before I go on to show the rest of the mission and the other objectives. I've seen a few comments on Reddit and other YouTube videos which suggest you should turn off the kill cam effects in the settings menu. This is not the case here and you do not need to do this. I have not turned the kill cam off when I do this mission, as you will see, and I was still able to meet the timed objective. The other point I want to make is regarding the cutscenes. These are not included in the timer, and skipping or watching them makes no difference to the end result. After the first cutscene has ended, we need to quickly mount our horse and follow Micah for a couple of minutes. Try to keep your horse riding at the fastest speed the game will allow you. This will force Micah also to ride just a little bit faster. There's no shortcut here, just ride as fast as you can. Whilst we're riding, I now want to make sure you're aware of the objective of not using any health items. As described in previous videos, what this means is that you must not eat, drink or take any tonics that affect your health. This would include items such as cooked meat, cans of food, miracle tonic or health tonics. You are, however, allowed to take items that will boost your Deadeye only, such as alcohol, chewing tobacco or snake oil. As you can see in the top left hand corner, I've placed an estimated mission timer. This will be paused during various parts of the mission, including during cutscenes. It's tricky to work out where to pause the timer, but generally it's mostly when you're not physically in control of Arthur, apart from the wagon ride later on. As you can see here, I'm riding at speed, which is level to Micah, constantly pushing him to keep at his top speed. When you get to the small wooden bridge up ahead, you should start hearing a conversation about how Micah and Lenny ended up near Strawberry. This should be a good sign that you're riding at a good pace against the timer.
Nothing that needs to concern you. I always pay my share.
It concerns me when you put us in danger and we don't realize till it's too late. Like that move you pulled in Strawberry, making me kill half the town just for your precious guns.
Precious they are. You need to roll a little looser, Morgan.
Looser? I seen you come full undone more than once now, and you only been running with us a few months.
Are we gonna rob this
We're now
coast?
approaching the lookout point. It's at this stage I wasn't sure when to pause the timer, but I believe it's just before we climb the small hill to join Micah, because it's at this point that the game takes over from you and the horse automatically pulls up alongside Micah. After we're standing in place next to Micah, the next cutscene will kick in as we watch the banking coach ride past. As soon as we're back in control of Arthur, we now need to make sure that not only are we keeping up the pace because the timer has started again, but now we also have to make sure that we get headshots on every single one of the guards protecting the coach. You need to be confident in your ability to keep riding forward and using Deadeye to take out the guards. You cannot afford to be falling behind. It's also important to warn you at this stage that you must not take out the driver of the wagon until the very end. The driver will be the person sitting on the left of the wagon. This is because we want to keep the wagon moving forward until the last possible moment before we take out the driver and make it stop. The easiest way to get headshots on each of the guards is to tag their heads using Deadeye, and as I said earlier, if you're not sure how to do this, during my gold medal guide for pouring forth oil part 4, I give instructions on how to do it. The video will be linked in the description. In short, you need to be aiming first, then use the right stick down like a button to activate Deadeye. Once Deadeye is active, use R1 or right bumper to tag the head, and then press R2 or right trigger to complete the move. Back to the objectives now. The reason I asked you not to take out the driver is because we need to let the wagon go as far as we can. This will make the long ride where Micah takes over driving it as short as possible. I let the driver continue on his way until I see that we are approaching a bridge. The ideal place to take the driver out is either right at the bridge or just after you pass through it. If you leave it any longer, then the driver will turn to the right through a wooded area and end up crashing the wagon, resulting in a fail. Any failures will cause you not to meet the health item objective because the game counts it as a death. Whilst we wait for Micah to get on board, I believe this is a mini cutscene due to the cinematic bar at the top of the screen, so I'll pause the timer whilst waiting for him. We now just have to sit back and wait for Micah to drive extremely slowly towards the river and a safe spot to open the lockbox. Micah driving the wagon so slowly here is the reason why you must always take leaving the original wagon driver out until the very last minute. If you had taken him out first, it would have meant a very long wagon ride with Micah and a failed timer objective. The last objective we need to meet will be after the next cutscene, which is to make 10 kills in Deadeye. If you've taken out all the wagon guards using Deadeye, then you are well on the way to meet this. As you see here, in preparation for the battle ahead, I make sure to fortify the outer bar of my Deadeye core. In order to manage your Deadeye core properly, try to make sure you use a tonic or chewing tobacco before the outer bar depletes. If the outer bar does deplete, it will start to drain the inner core. When your inner core is red, it makes it very hard to aim, even when using a tonic. The final battle takes place after this cutscene, so we'll skip ahead to see the final part. Once out of the cutscene, Arthur is positioned in cover behind a rock. This is the place that I tend to stick to throughout this battle with the O'Driscolls. There is no need to venture further across the river, because once the battle is over, we want to ensure we are near the wagon so we can trigger the end of the mission. The more you can predict where the enemies spawn, the easier this part will become, so be ready for another wagon to appear ahead of you with further O'Driscolls on board. If you're quick enough, you will be able to take them out even before they arrive. As you can see, I make sure my Deadeye doesn't drain too much by activating it one enemy at a time. The only time I will take out more than one enemy is if they are very close to each other. This way you can keep an eye on the outer bar and make sure it doesn't deplete before applying another tonic. Once the enemies on the wagon are down, it's time to walk towards the overturned wagon. If you stay behind the rock like I did, then it will be right next to you and you won't have to go far. All that's left to do now is shoot the lock on the back of the wagon. You can do this as you wait for Micah to walk over and join you, instead of waiting for him to tell you to do it. This will make sure the next cutscene is triggered promptly and helping to ensure you hit the overall timed objective of completing the mission within 6 minutes. As you can see, I've estimated that I managed to do it with just 4 seconds to spare. Thank you so much for watching. If this guide helped you, please remember to hit the like button. And please do let me know in the comments section if you have any other helpful advice for others that I haven't included here.